Good morning, everybody. It's the last day of August 2015. Where has the summer gone to? Labor Day next week. Are you kidding me? This is Weber This Week. The dog is in the kennel. Today, Bill Parker joins us via the phone in a couple of seconds. And Josh Durso, columnist, who I've been always interested in reading his stuff every couple of weeks. He's on the couch this morning talking about what he does and the topics, and we'll get a chance to talk to Josh about his writing. And keeps me interested every so often. I like to read stuff, and he does some good jobs regarding that. We'll get to Josh in a couple of minutes, but longtime friend Bill Parker is on the phone. And Bill, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Harold. Nice to be here.
Bill, you're a Rotarian, a big event coming up for the Rotary Club of Seneca Falls. Certainly, I know it's one of your premier signature events. Talk about it. It's the 13th of September. Talk about what's going to be taking place.
Okay, it's our annual music fest, jazz music, all kinds of music. We got 5 bands this year.
Wow.
It's our major fundraiser and funds most of our projects that we do throughout the year. It's Sunday, September 13th from noon to 5. Tickets are $20. Goosewatch Winery. It's a great place. You look right out over the lake. It's a wonderful setting.
Well,
we're looking forward to that.
I think a lot of people are going to turn out for you. Just hoping good weather holds true, and we've got some good forecasts coming up. I guess after the heat wave of this week, it's supposed to be 85 to 90 all week long. I understand it's supposed to get cooler next week, which may not be all that bad as well for the event.
No, I got my request in. I think God's listening to me.
That's right. Well, sometimes I call him and he doesn't answer my calls, but hopefully you're better off than I am.
I know how that is.
I know. So it's Goosewatch Winery.
To it. We're hoping to have a lot of people. As they say, it's our major fundraiser.
Right.
We fund all the local projects, plus our Malawi project is funded out of this. So
okay.
We're looking for a good turnout.
All right, let's reiterate. It's the Goosewatch Winery on September 13th. That, of course, being a Sunday, starts at what time, Bill? Noon?
Noon to 5 o'clock.
5 bands. Going to have some food opportunities, a little drinking, a little tip of the...
Oh, yeah.
And there'll be some...
Goosewatch will have some wine there. We cook hot dogs, hamburgers, and sausage, best in the county.
There you go.
And Goosewatch is on Route 89.
There you go. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we wish all the folks that may be checking me out this morning to be a part of this. It's noon to 5 at the Goosewatch Winery on the 13th of September. So, Bill, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, Harold. All
right, Bill Parker, ladies and gentlemen. And again, if you got an open schedule and you want to circle that date, it's the 13th of September, the biggest Rotarian fundraiser all year long. And it should be a lot of fun, a music fest. So we wish them the best of luck. Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? A good weekend, huh? Weather forecast I just mentioned, supposed to be nice and warm, toasty warm. We're going to the fair tomorrow. Hello, State Fair. I may change my opinion and go into more than one building tomorrow with my wife, Mary. I don't think I'll do that. But all kidding aside, it's supposed to be 85 to 90 by the end of the week. So let's hope and pray that the weather holds. Well, bringing us in right now, my special guest this morning, Josh Durso. Josh, thanks for coming in.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Josh, talk a bit about yourself. I'm a big fan of your writing your columns every couple of weeks. You write for the Finger Lakes Times. Talk about your background, where you were born, where you went to school, your education, and how you got involved in writing.
Well, I born and raised here in Seneca Falls, lifelong resident. Went to Mynderse, graduated from Mynderse in 2009. Went to college down in TC3. Got out of there, worked retail, did some odd things for a while, and then really started to hammer down on writing and wound up with the column last year.
Now, did you audition or you send some of your documents that you wrote to various periodicals to see if they liked it?
Actually, I had done a little bit of blogging here and there,
okay.
Guest appearances and various things. Guest appeared in the Finger Lakes Times a couple of times during high school and even in college. Knew Mike Cotillo
sure,
from
good
that.
Friend, yeah.
Yeah. At that point, that was when I emailed him directly and I just straight out asked him. It was around, I want to say around May. And he was really receptive, and everything worked out really great. And we picked right up in June, and we've been going for about a year and a couple months now.
Well, certainly, I know you enjoy doing the work. I am a fan of yours. I read your In Focus articles or writings every couple of weeks. I look forward to seeing them. Let's talk about some topics and get your opinions. Of course, no biggest opinion that would be remiss if I didn't bring it up is the Lago Casino, which you've written extensively about.
Yes.
Will it ever happen? I know that they have cleared the land and they get ready to go. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. The FBI can get background checks in 24 hours. It seems like it's taken 12 months to get background checks on Tom Wilmot and the Lago executives. Now we're understanding the end of September will be the earliest that a license will be granted to anybody. What's your feeling about this Lago delays? I understand the Casino Free, led by the Dollies, who have been on my show, are anti-casino. That's a small faction. It's certainly evident, and it's I don't know if you wrote about it. I know other people have. They're getting financial assistance from Turning Stone and Finger Lakes Racino financially, because you wonder how a small group of 12 or 14 people can afford the expensive attorneys involved. They don't come cheap. We found out how that happens because they're getting checks from the other casinos that don't want Lago to open. What is your take on what's been developing behind the scenes? I'm, for one, thinking it's going to happen. What's your take?
I think we're at a stage of it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I feel like a lot of people, if you're talking about, what the percentage split is, maybe it's like an 80-20, maybe it's like a 70-30 pro versus against. I mean, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to following the procedures that are in place that need to be followed, getting to an amicable end, and, everyone accepting the outcome. I think that's a big part of what kind of remains to be seen is, those that are opposed to it, how long are they going to continue to fight? Is this going to be something that after the final hammer drops and, we have a building out there, are they going to be picketing the site when they're opening up, right? So, I mean, that's kind of I think that's where a lot of people are kind of wondering, and even me at this point, it's really... I don't think I'm as confident as you are in the fact that it's actually going to be there. But I think that at the end of the day, there's going to be a very, very, very hard fight no matter what.
So you do see maybe a sense of picketers walking up and down where they could walk on their property.
I feel like we've gotten to a point, where we picket or we protest almost anything that we don't like.
This is America,
stage, right? It's absolutely in everyone's right to do that. Just one of those things, though, that it kind of remains to be seen, and we just got to wait it out, and it would, in my opinion, be good for the area, for the region as a whole. We do rely on tourism, so it's kind of, it's opposed to logic, I feel like, to say that more people coming into the area when we rely on tourism is a bad thing, right?
Well, speaking of Lago, and of course that's our main topic, get to Josh and some other topics. You talked about minimum wage and pay scales and so forth, which intrigued me as well. But Josh, being a Seneca Falls guy pretty much all my life and having gone to McGee Diner several times to enjoy a nice breakfast or lunch, and I know Gary, he's been on my show. He's obviously pro-casino. I'm not so sure. Everything works out, I guess, at the end. I'm curious if they get the license the end of September, let's say, I will be one of the first guys out there checking out on a daily basis since I'm retired if I'm not playing golf and it's the wintertime. I want to see what they're going to do with infrastructure. I'm curious to see, Josh, having worked at the Thruway in Waterloo in the booth, I was one of those guys that took your money and gave you a ticket to get on the Thruway. I am curious as heck what they're going to do with the Thruway. I'm sure the Thruways have been involved in this. Are they going to put another booth up? Are they going to have another exit off versus 41, which is Waterloo? I'm curious because they're talking about 9,000 additional visitors per day. Yeah. Having worked in the booth for 18 months, I can assure you we were stretched out to the limit of getting people off the Thruway presently during this type of weather because the traffic just keeps on rolling. I'm just curious, what are they going to do with the roads leading past McGee Diner? What are they going to do with that little bridge that goes across, that little bridge? And all of a sudden, boom, there's the casino. I'm just curious as heck. And I know that's all in the plan. I just want to see how it all develops.
I think there's 41 will more closely resemble 45.
Okay.
As far as throughway exits go, right? I mean,
Big.
you're going to be basically as big as it gets.
It's got to be.
And you're going to have to be.
Yeah.
And as far as like the places like, that intersection 414, 318, I think you're going to see sort of an expansion with the business. So the business is going to expand. The roads are going to expand. Everything is going to have to expand to fit it all.
Oh, yeah.
So, I feel like that's something you really couldn't neglect to ensure, you can't have it out there, 2-lane highway. It wouldn't
no.
work. I mean, it would be a total disaster.
Oh, you did? Yeah. And the thing we didn't bring up is, let's not forget petrol. Having been to the thruway, those trucks go by every 12 seconds or less.
Yep.
They either come off or they come on.
Yeah.
Here they come. We used to see them coming down petrol right to get on the thruway all day long, one
And
after another.
You're going to be talking about even more of that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I mean, there's more business means more trucks, means more everything. And it's just, we're going to have to do something to work with it.
Well, not to give credit where credit is due, but I will say to the casino-free folks, I know they're not getting the tabs picked up by themselves, which is okay. It's America. You can get other people to write the checks, and they were able to get that. But I must give them a little bit of credit. They are fighting a fight, and it reminds me of, a small person against a huge person trying to battle. This is America. And yes, the finances are being picked up by Turning Stone and by Finger Lakes Casino. But I will give them a little bit of credit. They are just staying in the fight to the bitter end.
Yeah.
They're not taking their hats and turning it on the backside of their heads and leaving town. They're going to fight.
To that point, I mean, that was really one of the big reasons when I wrote that. I believe it was right after you originally contacted me about doing this. The column that I wrote, looking at both sides, was to really give credit to the side that, they are fighting a fight that is looking at their interest, just like the other side feels as though they're fighting for something that's in their interest. So, it's who's right, who's wrong. Maybe we don't know the exact answer right now, but, come the end of September, maybe we have a little better idea.
It is amazing, and I must admit I've made this comment on my show many a time. I love to go to a casino. My wife loves to play slots. I'll be the first to admit it. She enjoys the day at the machines, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's just dumb luck. Push the button and pray. Mm-hmm. But you know something? I got to admit, I have always been uncomfortable with the site. I will be honest with you. I'm not anti-Lago. I'm not, I just couldn't figure out why there. Little sleepy Tyre, New York. It just boggles my mind that it's going to be there, And again, I play the casino. I like to play cards. So, will I be frequenting it? Sure. But the point is, I wish it was at a different place other than sleepy Tyre, New York, because I'm just amazed that they picked that site. That's the only thing that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I think, for the people who live there, obviously, they feel the same way.
Yeah, I know.
But I think you're seeing kind of Seneca County, exit 41, the thruway, that is a sweet spot, right in the middle of, you are in the beltway, so to speak, of New York. So that was probably their thinking behind that. Regionally speaking, they have the other licenses that they are releasing, so they had to think about that too, as far as proximity to the other locations. And maybe you go a little closer to Rochester, and you're ruffling a few more feathers than they actually wanted to.
That's true
on that front.
Well, listen, we're going to continue to talk to Josh, talk about the minimum wage and the hourly rate. And he was talking about one of his articles, his columns about, people look at the pay per hour, and everybody's not going to get rich working at Lago. There's a separation of church and state here. And we all know that. He's going to probably delve into that about where's this pay scale come into play? How does that all work? Because everybody seems to think they're all going to make a fortune out there. That's not quite the way it works, because casinos make a lot of money. They don't give it to the employees per se, unless you're a pit boss, unless you're one of those guys wearing the $1,000 suits around there, checking to make sure you're not got a card under the table. I never tried that, by the way, but wouldn't have been a bad idea. This is Weber This Week. Josh Durso, my special guest. We're just getting into a couple of topics. We'll get to the next one after we hear from the great sponsors to make this show. We'll make a couple of sports comments, then we'll come back to Josh. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora. A fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor, Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her great team will find that right spirit for you every time. Tell Amy the dog sent you. Cicino's. Live, laugh, eat well. It's the Italian way. It's also the Cicino's way. Place your order today at Cicinos.com. Locations, Main Street, Waterloo, and 401 Exchange Street in Geneva. The Good Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historical landmark. Wednesdays, don't forget Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Tap is Thursday, and their chef serves a dinner special every night. The Good Hotel in Seneca Falls. Steve Wadhams, Wadhams Enterprises, your employer of choice. Proud supporter of this show and local athletics. Bob and Leslie Ullman, owners of the Ullman Theater, in Lions as well as the Newark Pilots, a minor league baseball team with a major league ballpark. SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. Awesome 18-hole layout, offering a 12-month payment plan. Home of the toughest par 4 in Central New York. Wilson Press, WPress.com. Seneca Falls, Rich Ricky, my good friend, and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Rich Ricky, Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. Well, on a sultry Monday, the 31st of August, is the dog with you. H. Weber, hope you're enjoying the show. Josh Durso, my special guest this morning on the couch, a columnist who writes the In Focus article for the Finger Lakes Times. Every couple of weeks, you can check out his writings. And by the way, just a reminder, upcoming shows. We're off next week, Labor Day. Jimmy gives us the day off. That's pretty nice of him. We'll be enjoying maybe a barbecue somewhere and a cold beer, hopefully. By the way, on the 14th, we bring in a couple of new owners of a new restaurant south of Geneva called the West Side Italian Eatery. Myself and Mary, along with the Lopez's, went out and did a check on that place, had a little food last week. We'll talk about that. Jenna and Tommy Coons, the owners, will be my special guests on the 14th. Then on the 21st of September, a show that I'm looking forward to. I know they're friends of myself and Jimmy, the Ferrara brothers, Mike and Tony. Why are they being invited to the Weber Show? Hey, if you put in 77 years of combined educational work, 77 years combined, pretty amazing. They're going to be on the couch talking about their role and what their impressions of education are. Who better to talk to than almost 80 years of experience? So, in all different capacities, by the way. From the lower ranks up to being principals, et cetera, et cetera. Mike and Tony Ferrara on the couch the 21st of the month. And then on the 28th, we're going to talk about Denim and Diamonds, the Trinity Church fundraiser. Ted Flock, Betty Canny will be in this studio talking about that big fundraiser. Speaking of Mike Ferrara, from Josh and myself and Jimmy, we wish Mike nothing but the best because, Jimmy, today is it for Mikey. He's board of director man down at Seneca Falls Country Club, involved in a lot of stuff. I went to play golf the other morning at 7:30, at 7:15, 7:10 a.m. Mike Ferrara sweeping off the sidewalks. Always involved doing something, and we wish him nothing but the best in his retirement.
Yeah, he's a hands-on guy.
Oh, he sure is.
After so many years in his post in Waterloo, I think when he leaves, people are going to wonder how well they're going to get everything done.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Mike. And then, of course, Tony for his brother, 1 year removed from retired at Mynderse. So, and they're both coming in.
That's right. 21st, that'll be a special show. And we look forward to having Mike and Tony, who've been longtime friends of mine for many, many years. A couple of sports notes, and we'll get Josh to comment if you'd like. Enough about you Bills fans. Please, please, please stop coming up to me on the golf course, at a bar. I played poker last night. Some of my buddies were bragging about the Bills. It's preseason. Okay? It's preseason. I'm 70 years old plus a couple of months. I got 70th birthday April 29th. Jimmy was fortunate to come to my roast and as a badger and beat me up for the next 2 hours. That's the point. The point is, let's not get excited about preseason. You know what I think about preseason? I've been following sports since I was 7. That's 63 years. Preseason, Josh's neighbor is in the offensive tackle. All right? The ugly guy down the street that's way overweight is the offensive tackle right now for the Bills. Now, who's going to start the next Bills game in their last preseason game? The fourth stringer. So let's not get too emotionally excited about the Bills trouncing the Steelers 43-14. Enough already. It's preseason. Jimmy is bringing in his neighbors, his uncle, his aunts to play football. This is nothing. Let's wait till the bell rings, okay? I am so tired of Bills fans. Oh, they look great. It's preseason. It means nothing.
I think the Bills will have a good season,
Well, I hope
but
so.
nobody wins Super Bowls without having an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Bills have one.
Well, I'm not an EJ
I mean, you got to go back to Trent Dilfer, I think, before you can find a team that won a Super Bowl
Right.
or even made a deep run.
My knock on EJ Manuel, his problem is he throws it to the wrong colored jerseys. He's got antsy feet. If Josh and the boys are moving in from the defensive ends, he dances those feet and the ball goes flying. And guess what? The guy in the blue jersey is going the other way. That's my knock against EJ Manuel. I don't know who they're going to start. And oh, by the way, Rex, I love Rex Ryan. I kind of like him. He tells it the way it is. But he already predicted he's going to make the playoffs. Not a good thing. Because they're going to fry him like a wing down in Buffalo if he doesn't. And oh, by the way, it's 15 years since they haven't made the playoffs. 15.
That's all?
Straight. Only 15. Hey, by the way, oh, what a shocker yesterday. Oh, my God, that little Lewisburg, PA team in the Little League World Series, Pennsylvania team playing in Williamsport, home state. Oh, God, down 2-0, top of the first. Wait a minute. They score 10 in the bottom of the first. They take a 10-2 lead. My wife Mary's jumping up and down the other room. I'm in the other room watching golf and so forth. And, all right, we're going to bring it home. They were playing Tokyo. Not exactly. Tokyo comes from behind, wins 18-11. Maybe we need Monique Davis as pitcher out there. It was a shame, but I mean, it was heartbreaking to see that. Heartbreaking. A 10-2 lead and lose 18-11. What are you going to do? That's why it's called Little League. Hey, and by the way, FedEx Cup playoffs, if you're into golf like I am and Jimmy is, Jason Day, is he hotter than a Ponderosa steak? Are you kidding me? The guy is rolling in 40-footers like they're 2-footers, playing great golf. And believe it, he's in the discussion if he wins the FedEx. He's in discussion for taking away Player of the Year from Jordan Spieth, who's won 2 majors. Keep that in the back of your mind. Who'd have thought that's a possibility?
Listen, with the golf stuff.
Yep.
A year ago, Rory McIlroy was considered world number 1, and everybody was like, oh, he's going to dominate for the next 15 years.
Right.
And then
Yep.
fast forward a few months to this year, and Jordan Spieth, now he's unbeatable. Everybody's like, oh, Jordan Spieth, who's going to stop him? And what a great rivalry between Spieth and McIlroy. And now Jason Day is
On fire.
is pushed Jordan Spieth aside, who missed the cut this week.
Yep.
And it's a great time.
It is a great time
for
for golf.
golf. It is a great time, and it's only going to get better because I tell you, those aren't the only 3 guys who can, compete for major championships at that level. It's a golden age of golf we're in right now, and it's going to stay that way for about the next decade.
By the way, I'm a member of a fantasy golf league. One of my members of my team is Brian Harmon. Why do I bring that up on this show? Yesterday he did something that's only happened 3 times in the history of golf. 2 holes in one. 2 in 1 round.
Amazing.
The third hole, which they didn't have TV coverage because he was out of the hunt, but they did show him on 14 whacking a hybrid in the hole for a hole in one. Now, only the 3rd player in the history of the PGA to achieve that mark. And what do you think the odds are? And there's an MIT guy that's a wacko, got the big glasses, the scientific geniuses of MIT. They've come up with a number of odds. What do you think the odds are of getting 2 holes in ones in 1 round of golf?
On a PGA Tour event or just any
PGA
round?
Tour event.
Astronomical, because it's done 3 times and there's been hundreds of thousands of rounds.
This is for Josh's next article. 67 million to 1.
Wow.
67 million to 1 to make 2 holes in ones in 1 round. Pretty amazing. And he did it. And oh, by the way, there was no car giveaway. That's even funnier, like he doesn't need it. And by the way, I watched Atlanta and Yankees over the weekend flashing back and forth. I know Atlanta has a nickname of Hot Atlanta. Let's change it to Iceberg Atlanta. I've never seen a more pitiful baseball team in my life than that Atlanta Brave team, folks. I got to be honest with you. I'm not so sure they could beat the Newark Pilots. I am telling you, that team was pitiful. They gave up 38 runs at home against the Yankees. 38. Oh, and by the way, the Yankees won yesterday 20-6.
Just what the Yankees needed, really.
Oh, my God. And, of course, I was telling Josh and Jimmy, before I get back to Josh, the decision, I can't wait. This is exciting, man. I haven't been this excited since I was married. But I want to tell you something. Tom Brady versus the NFL. Today they go to court. The judges ordered both of Goodell and Brady to be in his courtroom today. I was telling Josh before the airwaves, we'll get Josh's opinion. The early signs from the judge is he's not thrilled with the NFL's position of laying down a 4-game suspension on glorious, good-looking Tom Brady for Deflategate, alleged, versus giving Josh 4 games off for taking an illegal drug use. Opinion, Mr. Columnist, your thought on this? How do you think it's going to come down?
I think it should come in favor of Brady. I think it'll be reduced significantly, maybe wiped out entirely, judging by how seemingly negligent the NFL was, Roger Goodell was, in their actual process.
Amazing.
It's kind of mind-boggling, honestly.
Amazing the NFL continues, and I'm praying that the NFL gets slapped down at this. And I'm not so sure that Tom Brady didn't whisper to the guy in the training room, hey, take a couple of PSI out of these balls. I'm not so sure he didn't do that. I don't think there's any, as Jimmy pointed out, there's no video that shows him doing that. Right, Jim? There's no video.
But it's
not
a coincidence either that the balls were deflated.
If
I don't know. My thought on it is that a lot of money's bet on these NFL football games. And
billions.
If you got somebody trying to cheat in the game, and it's not like the first time a Patriot or the Patriots ever been caught trying to cheat. So, I don't know. It goes a little bit to the integrity of the game. And, when you look at, you're talking about an AFC championship game here.
Yeah. Which, by the way, they won 45-10. So Deflategate or playing with ping pong balls wouldn't have made much difference. If New England crushed them, I think
probably not. Probably not.
I don't think
if that's the case, you're so much better. Then why do you need to gain an advantage by deflating the balls? And if he did it that game, how many other games did he do it for? And it's just a lot of money in the NFL on the results of these games. And
sure there is.
And so I think they do got to be stringent on rules violations.
By the way, check on the ESPN ticker on the bottom of the ESPN today, folks. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. I'm not sure what time court is this morning, whether it's 10 or 11, maybe in another hour. It's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. He won't make a ruling. He'll make a ruling by Friday if they haven't come to a settlement. But Goodell is not too interested in settling up. Maybe he will. Maybe I'll have another thought. Hey, let's get back to Josh. We'll probably go a couple minutes over this morning. Josh, I want to get your opinion. You wrote an article about the wages and relative to people thinking everybody out at the Lago Casino if it becomes a reality, which I think it will. Talk a little bit about your article regarding the pay scale scenario.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have been overly focused on the fact that they're going to be quote-unquote service jobs or, the part-time minimum wage jobs. To that effect, every job has its place in the market. Not everyone is going to get rich. You said it perfectly before. We're not all going to be wearing the $1,000 suits or anything like that. There is a place, though, and we do have a group of people in our area who would benefit greatly from having opportunities like this. I mean, go to the outlet mall, go to any of our stores, our supermarkets, whatever the case may be. You have young adults, young people, college students, middle-aged, I mean, even older people who are working just to make ends meet. And jobs like this, while a lot of people will, look down on them and say, well, wait, they aren't really going to be great for the area, they're necessary. They're a necessary part of life around here. So, I mean, one of the more frustrating things with this whole Lago scenario has been people talking down about these jobs.
Right.
And it's just, it's kind of disappointing to see that people really think like that because it's, you got to have them.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to let you go until I get your opinion, and I know we're approaching 9:59. We got to go a couple minutes late today on this show. I got to get your opinion on the Donald effect. It's been taking over America. Now we see Ben Carson is moving up. Who's Ben Carson? He's a surgeon. I think he's a brain surgeon, to be honest with you. But he's closing in on Trump. The Donald effect, I don't think is going to go away. Scott Walker, who's supposed to be a contender, now is a pretender. He's like at the 5-6% rate. I've not heard one word about a guy who I liked, Chris Christie out of New Jersey. He's gone. What's your take on this? It's going to last, isn't it?
It's going to last. But I think the problem with Donald Trump, Ben Carson might actually benefit from having a better core group than Donald Trump does. Donald Trump's contingency of voters probably isn't going to show up in full force in the election booth. And that's probably the biggest thing that's plaguing him at this point or at any point in the entire cycle. a guy like Ben Carson benefits because he, like Donald Trump, isn't a politician per
Right.
se.
No.
So you have that extra benefit. Those two guys are surging right now, but hey, 180 days, I think they said, until the first primary. Still, we're way out. So, a lot can change. A lot will change. A name to watch, I would say, a Marco Rubio would likely be a guy who's going to fit into both sides, establishment like him, as well as the further leaning right conservative.
Trump makes two comments which I like. He's worth $10 or $12 billion personally, and he's saying things that most Americans want to say but won't say. He's saying it for him.
Yeah.
I like
mean,
that.
a lot of people do like it.
I do
It's
like
just one of those things where it's a very, very fine line you have to walk. And I think a lot of people look at him as a stick of dynamite. And maybe he's gotten away with saying some of the things that he said to this point. But in the long term, you're looking at something that is dangerous, to say the very least, especially with all of the work that the Republican Party has put in over the last 5 to 8 years to restore their image from what it was when our last Bush left the office.
All right, I'm not going to let you go without putting you on the spot. Year and a half from now, we go into the booth, myself and the Senecropi family, we vote for the President of the United States. Who's going to be the two candidates that we're going to vote for?
I think you're going... The Democrat, actually, it's a little harder to guess on that side. If Biden enters the race, I think we could wind up seeing a sweep towards Biden. On the Republican side, I'm staying with Marco Rubio. I've been with him from day one. I think when the dust settles, the cream does rise to the top, and I think he will be the front runner, the winner of the nomination from the Republican side.
Okay, Marco Rubio maybe against Joe Biden. I kind of like to see Hillary. I'm a Hillary fan, and I'm getting tired of these emails. I still think, Josh, you may disagree with me, I still convinced that she did not receive nor send out anything that was marked classified at that time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, I don't think...
And I think they're trying to make her run down the hill, hit her over the head, and I'm still convinced, and nobody has proven to me yet, that any email that she, and I understand she's sorry for using her personal email, I get that. But I'm still convinced, and I will go to the end until I find out that I'm wrong, that she ever received nor sent a classified email at that time.
Yeah.
It may have been classified after she did it,
Yeah.
which is a non-factor.
100%.
And I'm still convinced that, and this press is just relentless.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Hey, Josh, thanks a lot. I look forward to having you come back.
Great being here.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks for coming on. All right, folks, enjoy your Labor Day, and with the family, have a little barbecue. We'll see you on the 14th, and we'll have Jenna and Tommy Coons, the owners of the West Side Italian Eatery. Thanks to Josh Durso, a great columnist, and it's a must-see article every couple of weeks called In Focus. Check them out. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your Labor Day. Enjoy this warm week, baby. It's going to be 85 to 90. Do I really have to go to the State Fair? I'm going, Mary. Just kidding. Take care, everybody. That's Weber This Week. My way.
Like this by becoming a patron of FingerLakes1.com. Visit patreon.com/FL1.
FingerLakes1.com